Alrighty, and we are off to round one.
You know,
Time has started.
yeah, and as they were shuffling up, getting ready, I noticed something. Those sleeves.
Looks like we've got a Lyrical versus a Stoy K deck.
Yeah.
I've talked to Crow a little bit going into this game, and going into this event, and he said that he was going to do that. So
This is going to be an interesting matchup, especially because Kairi is so good now. Like, all of the new support that Kairi's gotten, trial deck came out, and not a lot of people were playing it at the time. But now, with the grade 4, it is super big. And, yeah, we're checking chat out right now. Yeah, that's Crow on the left. So underneath the Lyrical Monasterio and his opponent's Chase. That's going to be on the right side there with Stoicheia. Right, and they're just going through their normal turns. First couple of turns were standard. They're just going grade 1, grade 2, swinging at each other. Not really too much action as of this moment.
Looks like Crow has taken a damage. Currently the damage lead is on Chase.
Yes.
But like I said, Crow is currently on the left, and he is playing Lyrical.
Yep.
It looks like he's dropping hands.
He's trying to rush that Stoa deck.
Looks like the Story deck is Zorga, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
By the sleeves on the right deck.
Yeah, now Magnolia has started running the Zorga ride line just for added value and draw power. It's because they're really trying to get to those, the Inlet Dragons.
100%.
Right, so they're really trying to dig through as many cards as possible. So he could be running Mag, and if he is, that's a good play.
Music is pretty loud.
Yeah. Fix that now.
Give us 1 second. We'll be turning down the music. Alrighty, guys, we turned the music down a little bit like you guys asked. Is that a little better? So it looks like the Zorga player drive check on grade 2. He hit a crit and pushes Crow to 3.
Yeah, 3 versus 1 right now.
But that is a lot of resources for Crow. We'll see if he can actually take advantage.
Yep. Crow gets to grade 3. Confirmed. Yep. Kairi. Not one of those weird Lyrical decks that's just running the Kairi ride line.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those.
Felty being one of them that can.
Oh, yeah, don't remind me. Chases, looking at his hand now. Pulls a trigger.
You're very welcome. He
Gives power to Van. See if Crow. Yep. Soul Blast, using the effect. Getting that column that he just swung with back to his hand.
Yep.
Now, I am interested to see about the Stoicheia grade 3. I really am. I'm wondering whether or not he's playing Zorga, because I personally haven't seen a lot from the deck. And, oh, Crow got a front on that one, so, yep.
I assume he's playing Zorga because he is playing the drive check order. We did see it a little earlier.
Yeah. So, damage check. Now damage is matched.
There was another critical draw. Now time for the reveal.
Yep, big reveal.
Will it be Zorga? Now, will it be red pill or will it be blue pill?
I'm going to say red.
And you would be right.
Yep. So it is the new Zorga deck. I'm interested to see how this gets played because no one at our locals, as far as for Dex and Dice with Naru, no one really plays Zorga anymore. So, I'm kind of taking notes at the moment. What about you?
From the research that I've done into these new decks and these new ride lines and new grade 3s, this red Zorga is apparently a lot more consistent, but it's a lot more aggressive. It's a very aggressive deck.
Okay, so yeah, that could play, especially with him pulling a crit earlier.
And he has the 15k booster.
Oh, okay. So
The grade 1 in the back row is a 15k. It can swing. It's base power 15k, and it can boost.
Okay.
But the issue is it can't move anywhere other than the back row center.
Okay. So yeah, that is going to help him out. And now he's checking his...
He's checking drop for orders.
Yeah.
He just pitched the new order, which if you don't know what the new order does, it's going to give Vanguard the skill to give the front row plus 5k.
Okay.
So it helps make up for them not being able to run some of the older orders, like Grief, Despair, and Rejection.
Okay, so they're making up that
There's a
effort
rogue
there.
Hunter.
Calls it.
There's the first order. So we're going to see if he alchemagics.
What's he going to select out of drop now?
Just to make sure, chat, can you hear us fine?
Undead versus lollies. I love that.
That's about it. That's about right. It's a battle of the ocean here.
Yep. Lyrical used to be a part of Megalonica, and then now they split, merged with Zoo, but Lyrical's their own thing.
They're a flying whale.
Yeah, a flying. I don't know how that works.
It's better not to think about it.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
So the Rogue Headhunter will get +5 because an order was played.
Crow, Optus, no guard.
And then a front trigger. So it looks like the drive check is a spiritual body condensation and a front trigger.
Damage
Looks
1.
like Crow does hit a defensive heal.
Yep, that's going to help him out a lot. He's going to stay at that 3 damage and maybe help him guard this last attack.
And it also helps him refresh his counterblast too.
Yeah. So now he's going to be on Kairi grade 4 if he has it in his hand with 3 counterblasts,
See if he does.
Oh, there it is.
Looks like he does. Alrighty, I will try to speak a little louder.
Checking his soul out here, seeing what he can work with.
I think he has 1 card, the Kairi grade 3, and then he's on the grade 4.
Yep. Now, it does look like he's running the friend package. That's actually been really popular with the deck. It pairs really well, especially because some of them, they get really big, have on-place effects that help out the deck. Whew.
Yeah. Alrighty, we'll turn the volume up just a tad. Is that better for everybody?
Oh yeah, that is definitely a lot better. I can hear it myself.
So it looks like the Zorga player Chase has been pushed to 4, and he's starting to guard. But we're getting a multi-attack, so shall see what happens. He's gonna bounce and then proceed to recall. The D format, as of right now, there are a lot of really good decks, but I think a lot of people are waiting on set 6 because it's sort of still a set 4 meta. We're waiting on something to shake it up.
Yeah, something. And for me, I'm liking D format a lot more now because there are more decks that are in the format. when the format just released, it was like, the same thing. People playing Bruce, Bastion. That was pretty much all you saw meta-wise. Some mag, Orphis was there every so often. But now, especially after the addition of Lyrical, and now we're getting more decks in the nations that we've already had. You're seeing a more diverse meta, and that's something that I like. I do lean more towards premium because of how diverse premium is.
Same here.
Right, but now we're starting to see nowhere near the same level of diversity because, it's only been about a year, but we're still leaning towards a more diverse meta, and that's what I really appreciate. That Bushiroad is willing to diverse it up.
Look at this. Chase is at 5 damage, 2 cards in hand. Crow triple drove and hitting no triggers. But
That just shows the power of the multi-attack.
yes, it does.
Yeah, that multi-attack is really, really solid. Like, even without triggers, his opponent's now at 5, and it is not looking good in game 1.
I don't think the Zorga player has seen a Prison Dragon yet either,
I don't think so either.
which is very surprising. I think just giving us decks that have the same power level as what we have right now would definitely. I think they need to give us the same power level or higher. So like Magnolia, Bastion, decks like that. I think we need more decks that reach that power threshold or that exceed it. That way, it sort of moves everything out because then it makes it. Okay, so it looks like something's going on.
Yeah.
So the Zorga does state that you do need to Soul Blast 1 and discard a card, and then you gain access to Alchemagic. So it doesn't gain Alchemagic itself as the normal Zorga does. So you have to be able to Soul Blast 1 and discard a card first,
And then you can Alchemagic.
and then it gives you the ability to Alchemagic for the turn.
That difference right
Which is
there could seal it.
which is a very big problem. Because it looks like he has 1 soul and a spiritual body in hand.
Ooh, that is not looking good.
But it does look like he's gonna.
He's thinking of something. I'm wondering what he's working on right now.
So he's gonna play the spiritual body.
Yep, just to make a more of a board presence.
He needs to at this point. But I don't know. I think he may be too far behind.
We'll see what he does.
Looks like that's 1 dragon.
Okay, so he did see one of the dragons. Okay,
One
which
is
is
better
good.
than none.
This is true. And sometimes you only need one.
And I will say this: the new Zorga. I'm not sure if if he plays in order or if he has to Alchemagic, but it does give the front row 5K,
Okay.
and that's before Persona Ride or anything like that.
And that's one of the topics I would look at myself is, supporting the underdogs in the meta, the decks that do need the support. One that I can see is Orphis. I'm interested to see how the new Orphis plays. I want to take a look at that deck because that is something that needed the help. Drive checks for our Zorga guy here, though, still dry. And now,
Triggers, but he does have the PG.
right, that'll help. But against a multi-attack deck, PGs is not going to help. And against these last 2 attacks, Crow, if he wants to, he can just opt to take both and start his turn.
Yes.
Damage for Chase. Okay, so we'll definitely.
We will be editing that in between rounds. Thank you for letting us know. Really appreciate
Right.
that.
Yeah, his is more on the edge of it right now. Okay.
Going to Crow's turn, not riding, not doing anything, just start swinging.
Yep, just straight swinging.
Right.
That's all he needs to do.
It looks like this is a 5K guard.
Right. Next attack, swinging, trying to work out the rear guards that can intercept and what cards his opponent has in his hand. Really, he just needs to get as big as he can, because he knows that Kairi's going to get perfect guarded. So really, he needs to get a rear guard that can get really, really tall very quickly.
If you're asking about V events, that would be a question you can reach out to Kingslayer Cards both on Facebook and on Twitter, and just tell them that that you show interest. But looks like he's going to 6 damage as a Prison Dragon, and looks like we are going to game 2.
All right, and then we'll take a quick moment, work on that damage for you. Give us but a quick second.
Hopefully that will be a little better for you guys. We did adjust it a little bit, as you can see, but we are going into game 2. We're going into game 2, and we will see if the Zorga player can pull back.
Yeah, and now, going into game 2, he can opt to go first or second. I'm expecting he wants to go first with the new Zorga build because, like you had said earlier, it's much more aggressive, wants to do damage early. So, I'm expecting him wanting to rush down that Kairi deck, especially because this is a grade 4 deck.
Yep.
And grade 4 is going second.
If he can pull cards out of his hand, the quicker he can, the better.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much par for the course for pretty much every grade 4 deck, really. You want to go first, whittle their hand size down before they can get to that grade 4 because it just ups the meta for them so fast.
100%. Hopefully we'll see some more less drive checks.
Yeah, the drive checks were a little.
That was on both players. That was on both players.
Absolutely.
But that just goes to show you the power difference between Kairi and some of these other decks, and shows you where things are in the meta as meta standings right now.
Not gonna lie, I'm looking at Kairi now too.
If you've played the game for a long time and you've played Bermuda in the past, that's exactly what it is. It's old harmony, bouncing, recalling.
Yeah, I'm an old soul. I played Pacifica back in the day.
Naru Samurai is not on commentary today. He will be on commentary tomorrow, and this, as it sits right now, is an Overdress. So there are no Narukamis in this event. But I will be participating tomorrow, and I do plan to see a few.
Crow definitely has a lot of fans in the chat. We'll definitely let him know that you guys are rooting for him. And yep, looks like he is trying to rush down Zorga as early as he can to make up for the damage that he might take on Crackback when Zorga gets to grade 3. Because that'll be a grade 3 swinging at a grade 2.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I will let Dave know. I'm one of the Jacksonville homies. I will let him know. And hopefully we'll be able to put him on stream later. But we shall see what happens.
Oh, and he got a critical on that swing, so Crow's already on 2.
One thing I like to say, second verse, same as the first. It's a repeat of what happened in the first game.
Absolutely. Ooh. Now, grade 2 to grade 2. Let's see. Plays the friend grade 2, and that grade 2 is actually very solid. See, I run it in my friend's deck. I built that just as as a funny deck. And the card itself is really solid, counterblast, call a friend, draw a card. That additional card in hand is really going to help out, especially when, he gets to grade 4 when he can do it.
Well, looks like we have another damage check and another defensive trigger.
Oh, wow, he's getting those triggers.
It's all good. Naru will be on commentary tomorrow for premium, and we will have another man coming in as well.
Looks at top deck with the grade 1 and opts to keep it. Passes turn. And now looks like we're going into Zorga grade 3. And this is going to be a grade 3 Zorga that if he has the hand, yeah, if he has the hand that he needs to set up where he needs to go, it is going to be rough for Lyrical.
He can potentially run him over if he has the dragons. Looks like in his drop we have a Tearful Malice, a critical trigger, a starter. That Tearful Malice is not looking too good right now.
Right, so now he just has to get the cards that he wants in his drop and pay that Alchemy Magic cost.
Yes, that is one of the biggest things about the new Zorga is the ability to discard a card and then grab an order from your drop.
Yeah.
So it helps you sequence your plays as well. When it comes to the number of prison decks, we have yet to see a current breakdown of nations. But the second we get one, we will 100% let you guys know.
I expect Prison to have a good number of showings. You know, it was the deck that was topping alongside Magnolia when the grade 4s came out. You know, everyone was playing pretty much grade 4 decks exclusively when they released. So, and Prison is one of the ones, especially with that promo card they got along with the set, you know, it's still one of those decks that I expect to see.
All right, so it looks like he did Alchemy Magic and he did use the new order. The new order it reses something from the drop, and then it gives the Vanguard the skill to get plus 5k to the front. So, and because he did Alchemy Magic, Zorga is also going to get everything plus 5, so it's essentially a Persona Right.
Oh, defensive heal.
Check a heal, which is going to make a very big difference.
And intercept, yep. I would have done the same thing. That was my first thought when I saw that last attack. So now we're going into grade 3, and luckily for Crow, no change in damage. The Zorga player didn't get any triggers, so...
Yes, but he did drive check a Prison Dragon.
Ooh.
He drove check a Prison Dragon and a Rogue Headhunter, which is... A dragon can be pretty scary. Being able to give a unit, being able to call a 15k and a crit beat stick every turn is really good.
Right, yeah, that's going to be... But this is Kairi grade 3.
The Zorga player does have to make it there.
Yeah, so... 3 attacks, though. Let's see.
He's your Smash coach. He's your Smash coach, and you're close friends with him. All right. Well, we'll tell him that you're watching when he's done with his game, and we'll tell him that you're watching and you're rooting for him.
Well, uses the grade 1 skill again to look at the top deck, see what he needs. Opts to keep it there. Damage check. Oh, got a defensive trigger, so that'll help with Kairi. But Kairi is the last attack for the grade 3 turn.
I think he's going to bounce 2.
Yep. Add on both the hand, and then, you know, pass his priority over to his opponent, see how he wants to guard this attack. If he does.
You kind of know what's going on. Yeah, Dave does play a lot. I know he play tests a lot.
Yep, gives him a 15. See if he rips something.
Second check, no triggers.
Yep.
But look at his hand.
It is impressive. And he's at 2.
All you need is a little practice.
Yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I know he's coming from Atlanta, and I know Atlanta is very far away. But I know him and a few of his locals did come down, I should say.
And now the Zorga player is ready and waiting. He was getting ready for this turn.
It looks like the Zorga player called. The Prison Dragon. That won't proc any of its effects, because it does have to be called from the drop zone.
Right.
But if he's gonna do what I think he does, that may not work. I think he's gonna try to use Tearful Malice to kill the dragons. and then res them back. But I don't think that works. I think it's a mistiming.
Yeah, we'll
Because the dragons have to be
see.
in drop to see the orders being played.
Right. And
This
he
is a very
just
that's what he's going
going.
to try to do, and we shall see. There is a judge watching over these stream games, so we shall see if that's actually how it works.
'Cause the dragon does have to be in the drop zone.
It has to see the orders being played.
Judge is getting a little bit closer to the match, seeing what's getting played. We'll get a ruling soon.
So it looks like he's going to kill them and revive the headhunter. And that's going to go to Soul. And he's going to countercharge one off the Tearful Malice effect. Yes, this is a very tense game. As of right now, there is $1,000 on the line.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and get a ruling check for you. Give us a quick minute here.
We do have a rulings issue, so we're going to get a rulings check real quick.
Yep. Head judge is coming today. Our head judge here is
So
Peter.
it does work. I would assume it doesn't because the dragons are not in drop when the orders are being played.
Right. But if it's continuous, then they should be able to do it. But we'll definitely
We're
take a
gonna
look
get-
at it
we're
with
gonna
Peter.
We're going to get a thing from our head judge. Shall see.
Definitely appreciate the comment. We'll let the judge know. I'll tell you this right now, though, with seeing how the timings are very important in this deck, and it can get confused very easily, I'm going to just stick with my one Stoa deck, and that's going to be Roroa, because
I'm going to stick with my homeboy Bruce. Rest in peace. He will not be in the next season of the anime, but there's always hope.
yeah, we want to have him come back, definitely. I'm a Bruce guy, too. That is my boy as well, so, we rocking together. Now, recently, I did see that this new deck is actually getting interesting. With the Zorga deck, especially going first. It's almost like a completely different game versus than what we saw in game 1.
100%. This is definitely a tense game, and this could be a swinging point for the Zorga player if this is how it works.
Right.
So it looks like it's going to resolve.
Right. And it does look like it's going to go through here.
It looks like the dragons are going to be called. They are going to see it, and they are going to be called, and they will get the 10K in the because it's just like Black Rose said. Cost is first, then
Yeah.
the orders get played.
Yeah.
So you pay cost first. So because he's paying cost first, the dragons are in the drop when the orders are played.
Okay, so yeah. Definitely appreciate you in the chat
So
there.
we have the twin drive, and it was two rogue headhunters, no triggers, and then Crow hit a defensive trigger.
Okay, so that'll definitely help him out. See, and his hand is quite impressive.
It
so,
is.
So if he
I
wants
think
to guard,
I think he should have no problem guarding, but it's the question of does he have the grade 4 Kairi?
right? Because that's going to be the thing that he's going to need to be able to, go and extend get those extra attacks.
For him to be able to push, he's either going to need to see a grade 4 Kairi, or he's going to need to see another grade 3 to Persona. But I don't think he plays any grade 3s.
There are lists that don't run it. Most lists choose not to run it. They want to run more the Friends package. Because a lot of the Friends cards, when something's in front of them, they either get power, they draw a card. There's the grade 3 that at the end of the turn it bounces itself. So yes, it's a grade 3 in your hand, but that's a free cost for a perfect guard.
Yep. And looks like Crow's going to guard, and he's going to successfully guard this turn.
Right. That trigger played a key part in it.
Looks like the Zorga player, their damage is tied at the moment. You can't quite count how many cards are in the Zorga player's hand. Looks like 1, 2, 3. Looks to be about 7, right? And Crow's going to ride grade 4 Kairi.
Yep.
He had it.
Oh, and then there's the grade 2 for the friend card. Counterblast. Yep, there it is.
Big power.
Call another card with friend. Let's see what he calls.
I'm not allowed to play this deck because I have no friends, apparently.
Yeah, no. We don't want you to. Absolutely not.
Dang.
Like, you my homie. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. But no.
Appreciate you being here, too.
All right, and he got the full effect off. Called a card that had friends, or the friend ability. And he's going to start swinging. Oh, got a defensive.
Yep, so it looks like we're going to 5 damage. I think he's hit 1 defensive.
Yep.
I don't know if 1 defensive will be able to cut it.
Yeah, because now that... Oh, perfect guard. So that's going to be...
But Crow's going to tell him to wait because he does get to call multiple cards from his hand on swing.
Right. That can change it. Like, does he want to, opt for a 2 to pass?
Yes, because
and guard a bigger attack.
He can potentially call two more attacking columns.
Right, and it does appear that he's running the full friend package in his list, and there are 2 cards that when they are played together, they anthem each other and get quite big.
So they're like Pearl Sisters from VCs.
Pretty much, right. And then there's another friend, I believe it's a grade 2, that says it gets, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 5k power for each card with the friend ability on the board, so it can potentially get quite large.
Drive check, front trigger, or not? Is that a draw? Looks like it's a front. A drive check, front trigger, drive check, no trigger. And he did his drive checks. Looks like he hit 1 trigger, 2 triggers maybe.
Yep, we found it here. Larissa. When this unit attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets +2. I don't know why I thought 5. Yes. That's more balance. Yeah.
Thank you, Drizak.
Yep, +2 until the end of the battle for each of your other friends.
Yep.
So it gets +10 total if everything is considered a friend.
Which is really good. Sorry about the little bit of static there, guys. Zorga player has 4 cards in hand and has 2 attacks coming.
Yep.
He's at 5.
He is at 5. So
he had 5.
Everything.
He had 5. So now he's down to 3. We shall see what he's got.
Last card is a perfect guard.
Let's see if he can make the most of what he's got.
Let's see
He'll
here.
get a draw for turn. And then he can use Zorga's skill to get any order.
I just want to take a quick moment and appreciate how blinged out these guys' decks are. Look at their main Vanguards. That is some extra shine.
It's very pretty. I've played with Crow for a few years, or for about a year, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I've never known him to not try to get high rarity cards. Mm-hmm. He's addicted to cardboard.
As we all are.
Like, some of these Zorga's SPs are looking nice.
Yeah, especially Zorga himself. Like, I just love the color combination.
Have you managed to see one of the SSRs for Zorga yet?
I have not.
I've seen one. They are absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
The dark green is really good on the background of the Zorga, but then also the signature that comes on the front is in purple. So it's a nice contrast.
Okay.
So it looks like we've got him playing in order. He's going to be playing Tearful Malice. He's going to kill his dragons. And then let's see what he alchemagicked. He looks like he alchemagicked the new order, which is going to let him revive a headhunter, and then the dragons are going to proc. So the dragons come back. So the dragons are going to be 25k by themselves, and they're going to have a crit.
Ooh. So that means we guard this.
Yes, and the headhunters are going to be 13k boosters as well. Zorga can put out some very big power columns. If you're not prepared for it, it can hurt.
Right, especially
That's
if you're
why a
not
lot
ready.
of people are saying that it's very aggressive. But then again, you look at Crow's hand, he's got essentially a book.
Right. He's built ready for it.
And he can eat at least one of the dragons.
Right. At bare minimum. If his opponent doesn't get a critical, then he can eat both.
We may see the one of.
Oh, the one up?
We may see an over trigger. I'm not sure if he did. I'm not sure if he didn't draw and countercharge. But Crow is going to correct him here. Crow is going to correct him here.
Yep.
Look at Crow being a very good. Or no, he's doing a trigger count. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's doing a trigger count.
Oh, is he going to possibly opt to no guard this?
He would need him to hit double crit or crit over trigger to kill him. So
Well, Vanguard got a crit, so...
Vanguard does not get a crit.
Oh.
Only the rear guards do.
Oh,
But there's one
okay.
crit. And it looks like it is a double crit. Ow, that's gonna hurt. And do we see a heal?
Nope.
We do not see a heal.
So we are going to a game 3. After that performance there, I am interested to see how this Zorga deck does, because that is...
We're going to game 3 with 8 minutes.
But yeah, like how you were saying earlier, the special foiling for that new Zorga. Listen, don't make me become a Zorga player, okay? Green, purple, my favorite colors. Well, blue is number 1, but
Apparently there was 3 that were pulled by the vendor at this event.
oh no,
And someone came up and bought all 3 of them. So
Wow.
someone here is running around with max, close to max rarity, I would assume. Because there's no reason you go for SSRs if you're not going for max.
yeah, like there's no reason. Like why else would you go? Like,
Especially when he also comes in SP as well.
oh, okay.
Alright, so we are going on to game 3.
I like that little dab that they did, you know?
Yep, we got a show of good sportsmanship. You always like to see it here.
Yep, and Crow's putting 3 back.
Looks like Chase is also putting 2 back. We shall see what happens. They will have, looks like by the time they finish, they will have roughly about 6 minutes left before they go to time.
Now, they are going to be starting with some time on the clock, so it's not going to be that thing that nobody likes, sudden death.
I've been in that situation before, and it is not fun.
No, it is not. Not at all. And there's the starter. I was wondering where that was at.
It looks like the Zorga player is starting off really well.
Yep.
He discarded the Prison Dragon for the effect, for the ride back, which is a very good thing because you want to see it in the drop play. So that means when he goes into his grade 3 turn, which looks like he's going first, he will be able to call the Prison Dragon and have a 15k and a crit rip.
Okay. Oh, Starting off swinging.
No trigger. No triggers on either side.
Nothing yet.
Let's see if this changes. So he's going to pick up. I think that's not gather upon me, you wandering souls. I think that's the order has no cost, but it retires, and then it lets you call cards from your drop equal to the grade of the unit that got retired.
Man, the thing Lyrical just doesn't like. Retired.
Oh, nope. There's the drive check. No trigger again on either player's side. But the Zorga player did drive check his Zorga, so he will have a percent.
Yep, and now Crow's going to guard.
If Crow doesn't push him to have to use it for cost or something.
He's already at 2 here, working out his discard to go into his grade 2.
Yes. So he's going to ride the grade 2 and see what happens.
Call. Oh, that's the grade 2 for friend. So yeah, call a card with the friend ability to draw another card. Call something out as a rest. Oh, and that's another card. No, he's going to start rushing, especially with being at 2. He does not want to be in that position with game 2 playing out like how it did last time with that big power.
Oh, 100%. And also with because they like we stated earlier, there is a judge watching over this match. He's right off camera. So we are trying to keep track of time, especially in these stream games, because we have had issues in the past where time will be called, but you won't hear it.
Right.
So then they just continue, and then the game state gets all messed up. And so we're definitely trying to keep a hold on that and make sure that things proceed in an orderly and proper fashion. Looks like we have the Zorga here.
Attention, Vanguard players, 3 minutes in the round.
Yep, and 3-minute warning is being called.
3-minute warning right now.
He is off to the races, looking at his drop. It is loaded from what I can see. He is.
Looks like there's 2, 3 dragons.
Yeah, I was seeing 3 cards, 1, 2, and 4, just all
Which
dragons.
is a very good thing, which means he doesn't have to Tearful Malice to kill them. He can just call over them.
Jesus. It's like Grand Blue all over again.
That's what they were going for with Zorga. That's the reason why he's a Necromancer.
Yeah, and it looks like they achieved that with this.
So it looks like he's going to play the order. This is the order we were talking about. It costs nothing, but he's going to retire one of his, or his opponent's going to choose and retire a rear guard. And then he's going to be able to call a rear guard from his drop that has the same grade as that unit.
Okay.
At least I think, yes.
So he's going to get
He's going to get another grade 2, or another one of the scythe grade 2. Zorga player has 3 cards in hand. Let's see what happens. Looks like he does check a heal.
and it goes off because they're tied.
Second check is a front trigger. There goes a grade 4.
Oh no. 3 left that we don't know where they are. Triggers are there.
And this unit is swinging for 35, should be. If my math is correct.
That is at 4 damage. That is not pretty for him because he does not want to have to go and wait an extra turn till he gets his grade 4. If he has it. And he's going to call that grade 2 for
He's
friends.
going to call the dragon. Next turn, the Zorga player. I would assume he plans on calling the dragon.
Yeah, the dragons are going to go
being
in.
at 4,
That's not going to be fun.
that can put you in a very scary position.
Because they're going to be swinging with big power.
And mainly the crit.
Yeah, that's going to be. Pro opts to put the top card of his deck to the bottom. intercept.
They're going to be called over next turn anyway, so that's what I mean.
Kairi's going to send back a column here. And now passes over to Chase to see if he wants to guard.
Potential.
No guard. Ooh, no triggers there.
And then he hits a defensive.
Yeah.
I would say Chase is in a very commanding position here.
Right. He has both of his counterblasts up. His drop
There's
has.
the persona right.
That is time right there.
Please proceed to end of match procedures.
Yep. And now it's going to be the 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is going to be Chase. 1, Crow. 2, Chase. And the final turn will go to Crow.
And then if there's not a winner after that, it will be sudden death.
So as of right now, Chase is in a great position. He just has to
100%. Being at this low of a damage
and putting his opponent to 4
means he can take a lot. He can take at least 1, maybe 2 next turn, and actually do pretty well.
and he's about to push.
He's about to push very hard. If he has the order that I think he's going to try to play, this is going to be a very big. This is going to be a very big.
Right.
Okay, so it looks like he's going to play the order he played last turn as the Alpha Magic. So this time this one's going to get bound. But he's going to play the one that gives power to the front row and calls it. So he looks like he's going to call a Ranker Chain, which is going to become a 10k booster. Which, hey, it makes numbers. And then he's going to call a grade 1 off that, which he's going to call PG.
You know, still a booster.
Still a booster.
Yeah, some people forget that they can boost with those.
And if he may be playing the Blitz orders, if he's playing Blitz orders, he can pick it up.
Yep, and then there's that power that we saw last game. You know.
Yes. The front row is going to be getting plus 25k power, so those dragons are 30 by themselves.
Ooh, Grand Blue all over again with the Skull Dragons.
I don't think they're 30. I think they're 25. Because it gains 10k from itself. It's 10k from itself, 10k from Persona Ride,
Okay.
then 10k from the Zorga. So they're plus 30. So they're 35.
Jesus.
And they have critical.
Yeah, and Crow out here, he's mathing out his guard. I highly doubt that he wants to take any of this. Oh,
He's getting no guard.
no guard. No trigger.
Crit kills him.
No trigger. Oop, front
And
trigger.
you get a front, that's going to be very big.
Yep.
It's a very big thing.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that essentially Crow lives this turn. You know, he's going to have, yeah, he's going to have to have that grade 4. But Crow has a turn to get his opponent to at least 5. Because next turn, when it goes back to him again, all Chase has to do is eat. If damage goes unchanged, Chase can eat 2 hits and be perfectly fine.
You can eat 3 now. His Crow's at 5.
That's if they don't want to go into sudden death.
Crow did have the grade 4 Kairi, so we're gonna see if he can actually sort of perform some kind of offense here.
Right. Counterblasting 1 to call a card with friend ability. Draws an extra card here. Let's see if it helps him out to really push his opponent during this turn 1.
Yes. So he's gonna swap that.
Chooses not to call a full board as of yet. He could call one off of Kairi with the bounces, but he definitely wants to save cards in hand to help him guard, especially if Chase does exactly what he did the previous turn.
But it does look like Chase did get he did take 1 and he hit the order, which that could also be a very big thing too. The Zorga player may be running out of orders. I haven't seen a Shadow Cloak. I haven't seen anything to let him put orders into the drop. But he did have to use he bound the order he played the previous turn.
Yeah.
So he may be starting to run out, which can be a very big issue. If he doesn't have any in his drop, he can't put any in his hand. He would essentially be cycling one card in and out of his hand for a Soul Blast.
And it's not like how, with normal units where you can just sack them to put them in a drop. They have to be discarded with some type of ability.
Yes, because you can't guard with them. You can't do anything. So it looks like Chase is going to go to 4. Looks like that's another order. Looks like that's a Spiritual Body.
There's Swinging Vanguard.
Zorga player does have only 4 cards in hand. Zorga player's going to go to 5. There's a Tearful Malice. And he's going to PG. And Crow hit the over trigger. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
So now he has that.
So because of the rules, if Crow can live, he will be able to get one more turn.
Yeah, and that'll be an even bigger turn.
Yes. Because all of his rear guards will have 10k power.
And with him running the friend package, that could get very tall. Let's see what Zorga's going to do here. He's definitely thinking out of his plays, seeing what he can work through.
So he did Persona Ride again.
Plus
The
10.
only thing is, I think we've only seen 3 of the Prison Dragon. So he's gonna have to find. Oh, there's the Tearful Malice. He's gonna pick up the Malice, looks like, and then he's gonna play the Malice, sacking the dragons. And what's he gonna play off the back end? I think he's gonna play the order that came out with this Festival Collections order, the one he's been playing that gives power to the front.
Yeah, just taking a quick glance over at him right now. He is definitely in the tank right now. Pretty much going over all of his plays.
In my opinion, the Zorga player definitely has a commanding lead in this game.
Yeah, because all he has to do is push 1 damage.
He either has to push 1 or heal and live his turn.
Yep.
No. What happened was I misplayed the
Zorga's going to be swinging. Looks like there's going to be a perfect guard being thrown. First check, Silent Rogue Headhunter. Second check, front trigger.
Oh, there it is. Now that turn just got a lot harder to guard.
Ouch. Let's see what happens. He's going to guard with that. Guard. Is he going to be able to do it?
Is he going to be able to?
Is he going to be able to do it and be able to guard the other one? That's the thing.
That's the fun question that we're going to ask.
The other one's bigger because it has a tank. And there's a perfect guard. I think Crow may have just snatched it.
I think so too.
I think Antonio just snatched it. Because he's also going to have the over trigger effect on this turn, and this is the last turn of the game. And the Zorga player looks to have 4 cards in hand.
Ooh. And that is not
So they're
good.
both at 5. Let's see what happens.
That is just an extra 20k on that column just from the overtrade. We haven't even started looking at
And it
base.
looks like the Zorga player conceded.
Yep, Zorga conceded.
All right. So it looks like Crow wins his first round, and Chase unfortunately loses. Let's see if he can make it back.